I have to tell you guys something. I don't know if there's ever been an organization that's made me literally just quake with shame as much as the Anti-Defamation League. And this is a message, if there's anybody out there who's Jewish like me. I'm directing this to you. All you Jew haters out there in the audience, I could give a fuck what you think right now, because, you know, it's not like we're going to go have a picnic or anything. Even if you agree with what I say in this video, I doubt it's for the same reasons. So, I mean, from now on, I mean, you can take whatever I'm going to say for what it's worth. This is not an endorsement of HanAssholeSolo's views or whatever he said. This is about what is the function of an organization that calls itself the Anti-Defamation League, and what's the definition of defamation? Because if they are going to continue to behave like they have been, especially in the past 3 or 4 years, where they are censoring people's speech and behaving as if they are the arbiter of what is acceptable and unacceptable to say about not only Jews, but about topics in general. You know, they're overstepping their mandate, if they even had one to begin with, and they're pretty much making a mockery of everything that our community and our religion is supposed to stand for. Now, I'm not trying to say that we do stand for Pepe memes or whatever. I mean, to be honest with you, I think that's such a subject that is like, who cares? I mean, it's a cartoon, and the ADL last year thought it was in the interests of the community, which is how they like to define it. I like to define what I have as a religion, as, you know, a legacy that we carry based on the Bible, based on the teachings of Moses. They like to define it as a community issue. So let's talk about, is this a community interest to attack cartoon frogs that are basically figments of somebody's imagination? I mean, really, let's think about that for a second. And let's think about what it means to be against defamation. Let's look up the definition of the word defamation. Okay, this is from Kelly Warner Law, and they write this. Federal defamation statutes, defamation or slander versus libel. Defamation, also called slander for spoken or otherwise transitory statements, and libel for written or otherwise published content, is the communication of a statement that makes a claim expressly stated or implied to be factual that may give an individual, business, product, group, government, or nation a negative image. Okay? And what CNN did by what CNN did by going after a private individual and disclosing his screen name, and basically perpetrating some sort of public guilt tripping, public, you know, a sort of public expose on a individual who is a internet forum user. That is, in my opinion, defamation. They started saying that he posts all these things that are racist or anti-Semitic. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that I support things that this person who, I could care less about him. I could care less about his family. But this is wrong on so many levels. And that for the Anti-Defamation League to come in and issue this statement that is downright sanctimonious and you know, it's like J. Edgar Hoover territory. It says analysis of Reddit user claiming responsibility for President Trump's CNN video. He didn't claim responsibility. He didn't claim it. That's defamation, because CNN said in its own article that they tracked him down. Here, let's pull up that article. This has by now been seen by people all over the internet. It says how CNN found the Reddit user behind the Trump wrestling gif. Okay? They found the user. He didn't claim responsibility for it. They found him and basically, held it over his head as if it's some sort of, tape of him screwing a goat or something. This is defamation. Okay, the Anti-Defamation League is supporting defamation, and I am going to be I don't know if there's anybody else who's already done it, but I'm going to step out there and say that if this is their idea of helping the Jewish community, then I don't want any help. I don't want to be associated with you. If you see me on the street, don't even say hello to me. I mean, I'm pretending the ADL is a person, so I'm being anthropomorphic here. For those of you that don't know what anthropomorphic is, it means to attribute human qualities to a non-human entity. I want the ADL to just go to hell now. I've already said several times that these organizations are actually doing a huge disservice to our community because they are they're using us and our heritage and our our very the influence that we do have. Let's include that. They're using it in order to pit us against people that, to be honest with you, I don't think they really care about us or whatever. And they're going to go after people that are, individual trolls. Then how do you win that war? Is that really? Are you going to go after the private citizen? Does that sound like anti-defamation work? Let's read through some of this analysis. It says, I mean, this is the one meme that they really tried to Islam. Get out of America. Take the Quran and stick it where. This is what they said. You and your cult are not welcome here. And they're making it seem like this is such a inflammatory meme. The ADL never goes after groups that are all over the country that are attacking Christianity. They never go after the groups that are attacking, let's say, Scientology or whatever. I mean, for argument's sake, let's take Scientology. The creators of South Park made that play called The Book of Mormon because, as much as it's distasteful for me that people will attack my religion and my belief system, under the law in the United States of America, you can insult any religion, and that includes Islam. That includes Judaism. It's not something that you have to like, but it's something we have to accept. And we are not going to, get the admiration of anybody by telling them what to do or say. That's not the way. Coercion is the wrong way to approach anything. And this is coercion, let me tell you. And I'd like to talk about something else. If you're really the Anti-Defamation League, then what does that... I mean, I guess officially most of your brief relates to racism and more specifically anti-Semitism, but it extends to things besides anti-Semitism, which I find to be a ridiculous word anyway. I call it anti-Jew beliefs or whatever, or anti-Jew anti-Jew activities, because anti-Semitism is kind of one of those intellectual loaned words that was used in order to make a very simple concept sound sophisticated. It's the simple concept that you dislike something. Why don't you just call it anti-Jewish? You have to come up with something that's more, and I'm not going to go through the whole etymology of it here, but this is complete, that you're buying into this notion that you telling somebody what to say is going to prevent people from thinking what they want to think. That has never worked in history. It's never worked against us. When our ancestors were in the Soviet Union and schools were being shut down by the KGB, and the teachers were being thrown into prison and often killed, did that cause people to stop identifying with the beliefs of Judaism? No, absolutely not. And what you're doing is, it's not the same. I'm not trying to say that you're doing forceful coercion, physical coercion, but it might as well be, because you're basically saying we're fine with a corporation finding somebody who posted something that is, just pointing fun, making fun of somebody else, making fun of CNN. And you're fine with them just spreading his information on the internet. That is coercion. That is defamation. And, what really bothers me is that CNN doesn't stick up for the recent scandal with Anthony Scaramucci. They said literally nothing. That was defamation of character, what happened. It says, when contacted by CNN, the Reddit user apologized and said he would stop posting hateful items. It says, subsequently, after CNN said that reserved the right to publish the man's name, or the child's name, whoever it is. I don't know who it is. After my first video about it, people started saying, oh, it's a 15-year-old kid. I didn't know it at the time. It was before that information was distributed, and we haven't confirmed who it is. But if it is, I still think it's just as bad either way. It says, subsequently, white supremacist hacker Andrew Ornheimer is doing his best to escalate the situation. So has that really helped ADL? Has that helped that now you've basically thrown gasoline in the fire and given these people somebody to rally around? It says, giving the network 1 week to fulfill a range of demands, including firing everyone involved in the Reddit story, creating a college scholarship for the Reddit poster, and ensuring that the poster will never be harmed by the network. If CNN fails to meet his demands, Ornheimer threatens to track down the parents, siblings, and spouses and children of the CNN reporter. So it says, ADL Center on Extremism, which tracks extremism and hate online and offline, has looked closely at the activity of Reddit user HanAssholeSolo, who appears to have created the version of the edited clip tweeted by the president and posted it on a subreddit commonly used by President Trump supporters. And then they look at his record. But by the way, that might already be proven to be false. They're saying now that it's possible that the actual user from whom that clip was taken was another user in Mexico. A closer look at HanAssholeSolo Reddit activity reveals an 18-month record of vile comments and memes against Muslims, African Americans, Jews, and others. And some, like the edited clip of Trump at WrestleMania, seem to glorify violence. For example, in a post about George Soros, HanAssholeSolo wrote, his dead, bloated corpse being dragged through the streets would be my satisfaction. So what? So what? He's not glorifying violence is not the same as threatening somebody. What you're doing here is actually threatening somebody by going after his this is he posts this meme about CNN, which is an anti-Semitic meme, but you know how many shares that meme probably has? Are you going to go after every single person who does it? This is just, they're just doxing him here. The anti-Muslim, anti-black. Let's see if they fit in Mexicans here. Anti-immigrant. This is something, if you're going to dox somebody for things like this, then you're going to be doxing a lot of people. And then we are going to lose our freedom as a society. That's what the ADL is doing. And what are they doing about real defamation? They didn't do anything about the Scaramucci incident. That's real defamation, okay? That's defamation of character to a specific person, a pernicious canard. Okay, I know I'm using a lot of these, artistic vocabularies right now, but a pernicious canard. What happened? Was there supposedly a need for an Anti-Defamation League? I think you'll find that the what was it called? The Dreyfus trial in France of the late 19th century, when a Jewish person was falsely accused by the press of spying for Germany. That is one of the first cases in modern history of defamation against a Jewish person. And it caused tons of anti-Jewish activity in France. And, he was later revealed to have been, unjustly convicted. And the true culprit in the spying was revealed to be a different person who himself was an anti-Semite, an anti-Jewish person. His name was Esterhazy. So that's what defamation is. When you go and you post something that's untrue about somebody else, it could be the cyberbullying is only really defamation if you're posting things purporting to be true when they are in fact not true. And I didn't mean this video to be long. I mean, big surprise there, but we're talking about a meme here. This was a comedy meme, and this person is being raked over the coals for the purpose of what? And now you're seeing a counter campaign, and I'm actually, I don't care who I'm locking arms with on this counter campaign. CNN has betrayed the trust of the American public by engaging in behaviors that are outside the norms of professional journalism. And one of the most egregious examples is what they did here. And when you see other media outlets do things like this that are downright defamatory, and I'll give you another example. Okay, this is from Slate magazine. It says, "Why Rolling Stone deserved to lose its rape on campus defamation case." This is from November 4th of last year, right before the election. If you remember, Rolling Stone magazine reporter Sabrina Ardelli and the Wenner Media Group that published the magazine were found liable on Friday for defaming University of Virginia administrator Nicole Aramo in a since retracted article titled "A Rape on Campus," which represented Aramo as being indifferent to a student's account of a gang rape that ended up being proven as false. So anyway, they lost this case. It says nothing here. I don't see anything, at least, about the reporter's reaction to this. But it says here there are other two friends, however, the friends of this rape accuser said, weren't convinced. Is that such a good idea? Her reputation will be shot for the next 4 years. Andy seconded the opinion, adding that since he and Randall both planned to rush fraternities, they ought to think this through. The three friends launched into a heated discussion about the social price of reporting Jackie's rape, while Jackie stood beside them, mute in her bloody dress, wishing only to go back to her dorm room and fall into a deep, forgetful sleep. Detached, Jackie listened as Cindy prevailed over the group. She's going to be the girl who cried rape and will never be allowed into any frat party again. And then it is revealed that Ardelli, the reporter, never spoke to any of the other witnesses that were supposed to have been involved in this case. And this basic failure in the journalistic profession, this has become truly, this is the expression of journalism today. I think this was the biggest turning point in journalism today. This is when magazines started basically saying, let's just throw whatever the fuck we can get out there and see what sticks, and the consequences be damned. And all these frat boys, here it says Rolling Stone faces a second lawsuit from the Phi Kappa Psi fraternity for $25 million. That is exactly what the ADL should have talked about that story. That is defamation. And if they don't think it's important enough because it doesn't involve race, let's say, or it doesn't involve anti-Semitism, then they should, I'm sorry, if they can find the time to talk about Pepe the Frog memes and this fucking HanAssholeSolo case, which is, to be honest with you, who gives a shit about some asshole in the middle of nowhere posting memes about anything, whether Donald Trump shares them or not? Who gives a fuck? You motherfucking dickless, bald prostitute, Jonathan Greenblatt, the head of the ADL. You know, this has to start now. People have to start in the community, the Jewish community. We have to start disowning this piece of shit. And the broader public, you know, I don't care. You know, people should start saying that the ADL needs to behave responsibly and not cooperate with this corporate media monstrosity that's called CNN. We need to hold them accountable. Are they out there to serve the interests of a CNN, or are they out there to serve the interests of people that are having their reputations besmirched? Which is what's happening here. This HanAssholeSolo guy may not have even been involved in that story to begin with. That it's very possible that that GIF was taken from somewhere else. And it's being revealed that that's probably what the case was. So give me your thoughts below. I'm going to try to share it with a couple people I know. And, you know, it's as many good things are going on, it's things like this that keep me amped up and, you know, just pissed off all the time, because these organizations, they don't represent the common person. They represent, you know, a certain class of people that they feel they speak for everybody, that they, you know, like I said in previous videos about the ADL, Jonathan Greenblatt, the head of the ADL, is an Obamacrat. He served in the Obama administration. He never said anything about all the defamation that Obama said about white people, about you know, about the American people. Anything. He never said anything about that. Never said anything about Obama's policies with Iran. This man is a disgrace. And his organization doesn't represent me. No organization represents me. And they shouldn't represent you. You should be able to say, excuse me, Anti-Defamation League, I want you to focus on defamation and not on defending defamation. Because from now on, I'm going to call it the DDL. It's the Defending Defamation League.